Hey everyone, I hope you're feeling dandy today. What's the difference, speaking of dandy, what is the difference between a flower and a weed? Think about a dandelion. Is it a flower or is it a weed? What is the difference between a flower and a weed? You know what the answer is? Perception. Perception. Now, that's not what I'm going to talk about today, but today's, geez, I did some mountaineering today. I think I'm right up here with the goats, the mountain sheep. Today I want to talk about pain. Now, this will either be a pain in the neck for you, or it'll be a whole other empowerment. And what I mean by that is we're going to dig in a little bit and you'll be able to dig in deep to determine how you feel about this. Pain. So pain for me has been an ongoing and divine understanding. And that for me started early in childhood, but I'm not going to go back that far. I'm going to go back to when things really happened for me, and that was back in 1999. I got out on my own. I went to Quebec for the first time, and I met some of my actually met one of my longtime buddies, Kyle. Shout out to Kyle. Kyle and I go way back, as well as my friend Mark. Shout out to Mark. Hey buddy. In Quebec, I got the chance of a lifetime to go by myself. And I ended up in a water park just outside of Quebec City. And I'm not sure where that was. I'll look it up in the map for you, but just outside of Quebec City. In a beautiful water park. First time ever with some new friends. And made some new friends, gosh. But still eating poorly. Still eating very poorly. And you go, well, you're a kid. You're still learning to do those things. But you'd think by 16, 17, 18, I'd start to have more of that figured out. The reality of it was, I was rebelling. I was rebelling against my parents because of all the things that I had to do as far as emotional intelligence and lifting the heavy weight of that. So I rebelled with food. And when I rebelled with food, it was for the very first time being able to do that independently. I could make my own choices about what I wanted to eat. I heard all the healthy stuff that my parents used to preach to me, and the great whole wheat bread, the Vita bars, the great Shackley supplements that we used to get. We used to get the zinc, we used to get the vitamin C, and you go, geez, you had pretty good upbringing. To a degree I did. We got the foundation of what it meant to get good nutrients and vitamins. The part that I was really upset about was the lacking part in the using the tools, learning how to use the compass, which was the tools of having to use my, how do I react in certain situations with enough emotional intelligence to know what it is, how to create boundaries, how to know what feelings were mine, how to negotiate when I was in an uncomfortable situation, what was mine and what wasn't. Fast forward a little bit, several months later, I ended up with an infection. I ended up in an infection because of the way I ate. The way I ate was because of how I felt about myself, which was nonchalant, didn't care. I blamed the world. I blamed my family doctor because he wasn't able to give me enough antibiotics to get rid of the infection. Even after doing the microsurgery that he did twice on my toe. After 3 years of dealing with an on and off infection, I had the tip of my phalange, the big toe on my right foot, surgically removed. And you might say, holy cow, and you were a runner after that? It's running away from my problems, wasn't I? That's where a lot of it started. But here's where the pain really crept in. after trying to understand what all that was and being angry at my parents, being angry at myself, being angry at the world, it was only serving no one other than the medical community out there, but that's another story for another day. It didn't serve me. It was my fooling on who I was. I was trying to dissolve the pain in my body with what I knew as tools back then, which wasn't working, which was drinking, eating, and then when I got to university, it got incredibly worse. So, not only that, but lower back pain started to happen. And when I became a hotel concierge, a lot of my shoulder pain was here as well and present. Dominant shoulder. Yeah, it's dominant shoulder. You might say, oh, dominant shoulder. That should be expected with age. None of that is true, my friends. That's all BS. That's all bullshit. I'm going to say it on camera. It is, because it's all in your head. When you grow old, there's no reason for you to have to think about or have to have the insight thinking that because I'm getting old, or I'm not feeling great and I am in pain because I'm feeling old. That's all BS. That's all what you thought upstairs and what you were programmed with. And that's all what's happening downstairs now. See, here's what pain is. Pain is a GPS. And what I wasn't doing was I didn't know how to use my GPS appropriately because I wasn't given the tools, because I was also tending to the needs, the emotional needs of my parents, which was never my fault, which was never my problem. But as a kid, I didn't know that. So where do you go with all this, Jesse? Well, pain is your GPS. Pain is your body's way of communicating with you when it needs you to look at things. And what have we done as a society? We've run away from pain. We've been angry with pain. We only add more. So what this pain was in my shoulder and my lower back and the infection in my foot was bad gut, bad thoughts, toxic thoughts, talking sick. Remember? Talk sick. It might seem like I'm having an angry conversation right now. I'm not. I'm just really passionate about this because I want you to understand what this is. These were toxic thoughts that I used to have of myself and of the world. And what I did was I put them in my body. And by putting them in my body is the way that I was able to try and get myself down, talk myself off the cliff, become angry, to try and feel happy, was I just distracted myself from what was happening inside. And as it's true, the mental becomes the physical. So I was putting pain in my shoulder. So I was creating my own problems. So what the body does what my body was doing when I was upset to get me back to the homeostasis, to get me back to the level, was taking calcium from other parts of my body, my bones, and putting them in my pain points. And my pain points were my shoulder, my lower back. Now, what do you do with all that? That's your choice. That's your choice. You can continue to have this as your story, in which your story becomes part of your personality. And the story is, this is how I am. And you keep talking it into reality. What? You make manifest of how your body is by how you talk to it every day. Well, my shoulder is a bad shoulder. My shoulder is a bad shoulder and I get pain. You keep talking that into reality. You are so powerful that you don't even know that this is what you do. This is what I was doing. My toe was a bad toe. It was inundated with infection. It was because of the way I was talking to my own body. So what I'm telling you is, instead of running away from your pain now, breathe through it, understand where it's coming from, and come talk to me. Or breathe through it, understand when it's coming from, and listen to what your body is trying to tell you. I am having a pain here because I need your attention, and it needs more nutrition. It needs more water. We're chronically dehydrated. We're chronically deprived from certain nutrition. Iodine is one of them, and I'm going to talk about that in a whole other video. I mention a lot of these things because I care. Because these are things that I went through that I want to share with the rest of the world. Wasn't properly hydrated, wasn't properly emotionally fit, wasn't getting enough of iodine, wasn't getting enough of the nutraceuticals out there. I wasn't getting enough me time. And I was putting it all in my body. And then it would come out as anger and passive aggression, and it would come out as irritations and slights with other people. I would project onto the world because of the pain that was in my body already that I wasn't able to get rid of, to figure out how to dissolve. I digress. Your pain is your GPS, and your pain is either a pain in the neck for you or it's trying to tell you something. In this video, I hope to accomplish just that. Your pain in your body is just a window into what is going on and what your body is trying to tell you. And it's trying to tell you that it loves you. It's trying to tell you that it's communicating in a way where, hey, if I don't shut this down or I don't irritate in this area, then this is not going to get looked after, and you're going to ignore this. And when you ignore that, it cascades downward, doesn't it? It cascades into another place. So what do I mean by that? I have pain in my neck. I don't have pain in my neck. But if I have pain in my neck and I ignore it, I just kind of hand massage it every once in a while, but I don't do anything about it, it's going to get into my shoulders. As it gets into my shoulders, it starts shutting things off. Are you feeling what I'm putting here? Are you getting it? Pain is not something we want to run away from anymore. Stop running away from your pain. Stop running away from your emotions. Your emotions are about 80 to 85% of your pain because you don't like dealing with yourself. And dealing with yourself when you are in a space where it's quiet is hard for you to do. So what do? You bring music. You have a busy brain while thinking about how to arrange stones on a mountainside, or you're flicking through your phone all the time. You don't know how to deal with yourself. Your body is trying to reconnect with you and you're just shutting it off. So it sends you these messages. You haven't looked after me in a while. Shoulders talking to you. You haven't looked after back in a while. It's talking to you. These things in your body are meant to be yours, but they're also meant to be taken care of. And if you're not taking care of upstairs, then the upstairs isn't going to take care of the downstairs. Pain is your GPS. Something that my wife and I have been coaching our kids through and just supporting our kids through is just to have their feelings. And when they see us have conversations where my wife and I are really passionate, some of that they absorb. And when they absorb it, it comes out in little dribs and drabs down the road where they could be like little microaggressions. They could be just little arguments, or they could be, they just don't know how they're feeling. They're feeling uncomfortable. So we encourage them to get it out. We encourage them to cry. It comes out in, sometimes they cough. They have a little cough. And that isn't a virus. That isn't getting sick. It's the body unloading it. So we support that. We support their little bodies as they expunge what has been picked up. We show them how to do that. Those are the tools. That is the compass that I'm telling you that I had an issue growing up with and didn't know how to deal with as far as the emotionally charged part of it. I'm very passionate about this subject because it's very near and dear to me. And I am happy to share this information with you because I believe that there will be, if there's even one person out there that this resonates with, I've done my job. And I'm confident that there will be many of you that pain will no longer be a pain in your neck. It will be your GPS. It'll become your best friend. It'll become your, okay, I now need to do something about this. I now need to look after my gut. I now need to think about proper nutrition. It's time. I'm not able to go hiking anymore because I've got plantar fasciitis. What's that all about? I am no longer able to walk properly anymore without the lower back pain. What's that all about? I want to support you. I would love to talk to you about that because I know what that's like. And as a former marathon runner, I know what pain is all about, and I know what running away from pain is all about. And I want to help you through that. I want to passionately show you how powerful your body really is, because it's magical. And when you get to that place where you are able to see, because I can coach you, you're able to see just even a fleck of how powerful your body is at healing, and I show you that, it'll set you on fire. It'll set you on fire because it's so fun. It'll be like a part of you that has been shut off for so long that I get to show you is actually, when it's painful, it's saying, come to me. I need you to look at me. I need you to do something. And when we do something with it, when I help you through it, it's like it lets light in, it lets blood flow in, it lets the emotion in, and your body does the rest. Remember in yesterday's video when I said I'm the tool that helps you get there? This is what I do. I'm the big bad old monkey wrench. I'm the skeleton key on your key ring. I am that master password. Well, you are the master password. I am the other password that helps you get through this, or able to decrypt some of the stuff that you need to get done. I'm happy to do that for you folks. Let's get through pain. Let's let pain no longer be something that you distract yourself from. Let's let it be your best friend. And on that note, I'm going to leave that there with you. I am really looking forward to hearing from you on this one. Is pain still a big thing, where it's a pain in your neck? Or is it actually something that you've begun to observe and go, you know what? I'm going to take action. I'm going to take massive personal action, and I'm going to phone Jesse, and I'm going to see how I need to deal with this, or I need to heal this. I'm going to leave it there. Talk to you soon.